Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO Indiana Jones, the original series. Let's continue. We're doing the Temple of Doom. We missed one of the collectibles in level 1. Let's move on to level 2 and hope we don't make that same mistake. This one in particular is going to be kind of interesting considering I only need one collectible anyways, and the red parcel. So, like, I don't actually need the true adventurer. And we've got the bazooka guy, and so the bazooka guy at the beginning can sort of rampage, but I kind of need a gun guy, I think, because it's way safer to run around and do the gun guy. If I could get well, actually my game doesn't tell me how many studs I have, does it? If I could get just a 40,000 studs and then exit out and not have really made too much progress there, that would be great, because then I could unlock the extra thing that I need to do. I'm not explaining this well at all. Anyway, if I could exit out with 40,000 really quickly, then I could get score treasure times 4. Notice how those studs just appeared out of nowhere. See, that's an interesting thought, that the engine of this game would be so inefficient that it would actually need the studs to disappear. So we're on the second level of Temple of Doom. Really at the very beginning of the second third, and the fact that we got 9 out of 10 collectibles tells me that we probably had most of the characters we needed even then. And it's kind of true. Like, so you jump here, but I don't even know what you're jumping for. This is another prime example of, like, what is your idea, game? I'm jumping forward and I'm jumping upward in a straight line, and I don't know what angle you want me to procure. And my AI partner is over there just going crazy. So we didn't have any thuggy characters at this point, and we didn't have probably a bazooka character. But that's kind of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and build this. Then I need somebody with a shovel, which is kind of silly. You have to bring your own paddle. But I think I already did come over this way. Yeah, I did. See, if I could just know how many studs I have at the end, that would be amazingly helpful, because I don't know if I needed 20,000 or 40,000. If it's 20,000, I could leave right now. I'll just go ahead and kill all these guys so we don't have to deal with them. You have very muddy brown water here. It's pretty ugly. What it really looks like reminds me of when I look at the ground and all of that in this game. It really reminds me of the way what is it? Shadow of Mordor looked. Shadow of Mordor, don't get me wrong, is a great game. It's just really, really cheaply made as far as the ground animation. It just looks bad. So we need this, and then we need to switch to Indy. Double swing. That was cool. I wish the game had intentionally programmed it to work that way, but now this guy's gonna hand me a key, which means I can't go any further. It would have been nice in free play mode if it was just a wrench to fix an engine, because in story mode none of the characters would have had a wrench anyways, and then it would have just stopped me from having to deal with this problematic banana. Like, and see, I really don't have a clue what you're supposed to do. It's not like the elephant can pick up a banana. As the game is lagging like crazy. Like, I'm trying to direct the elephant as much as possible in that direction. No, it's, you have to stand on one side and then run all the way this way and then hop and then toss. There you go. And notice how the key just disappears for a frame or two and then ends up in your hand. There is no actual catch animation going on. Let's see. This very well may be the one we missed. Nope. Interesting. Now I'm approaching 31,000 studs, which will get me over the million I needed, but we're too far in the level to quit out and start again. I could certainly do it, it's just I don't see a reason to. Here, let's go ahead and use the elephant to our advantage since they are crushing machines, and we'll just step on all of the... There's another question here of just how much do I remember of this level? Is this level, does it end here, or does it end like one more screen after this point, or several more screens after this point? Is there anything hidden back here? It seems like there would be. Notice there's also a circle filled in here, because on free play mode there's only 2 characters ever, and so any puzzle that required 3 people to stand somewhere now has to get modified. You would avoid that problem completely if they just had single player puzzles always. And just don't ever assume that there's going to be a second player. You can still have co-op in your game, that's fine. There's no real problem with that. Maybe you'd have to program the game to get it slightly more difficult, or honestly, if two people want to play co-op, I don't think the game should get more difficult. I think that should be a free benefit of playing with a friend, is that the game gets half as hard. Or there's certain ways you could adjust. You can make the players share the lives. That's not the best way, because then one player inevitably feels like the other player is wasting the lives. And you can always have an adjustable difficulty, so maybe you play co-op and then you turn the difficulty level up. Or you could double the number of enemies that show up, and then that might make it hurt the way the thing works too. So I don't know why they back up into this like that. They really like to back up in on the things instead of punching them. Here, go ahead and get this. So Indiana Jones though needs to get way up there, and I'm not sure exactly how he's gonna do it. Again, remember, this scene ruins the movie because it has them attacked in a place they simply weren't attacked in. Alright, well, I'm not sure that's the way they intended for that to work. It feels more like there should have been a ladder or something there. But never look a good cheat in the mouth, I suppose. Alright, this is going to be interesting. Pick this up. And we've got to now go find where it is. Because it's not just here. This is ridiculous. So let's see, we'll switch the other character and break the columns. Let's see. Seems like as long as we place the thing down in a nice flat place, you're good. And the game lags. Welcome to lagging the game. A game where it just lags non-stop. I'm surprised somebody on Steam Greenlight hasn't tried to sell their game just like that. It's like, I'm pretty sure they've done similar things where they've said, this is the worst game ever. It's a parody of bad video games. But the problem with like parodying bad video games is there's only a very limited way that it's actually getting the comedy and satire right. And you have to be very intelligent about doing that. Same as parodying in movies. There we go. That was a long haul for this. And we still need a Like, that was way more difficult than most of the puzzles. And we still need, like, one collectible. But I also would say parody and satire in movies is something that's more acceptable because you're watching some performer doing parody, and you're able to experience the satire without actively having to be a part of it. When you're talking parody in video games, it's the character and the player has to kind of be part of it, and it just doesn't work as much because most people aren't good comedians and most people aren't good actors. It's like, I suppose you could make an interesting argument about, is the new Doom game a parody of the old Doom games, or is it a full embracing and evolution of the Doom games? And I think you would almost certainly find out that the new game, people would agree that the new Doom game is not a parody, but a full embracing of it. And it works better because of that. So let's see if this is the one we missed. Yeah, I don't know if there really are any good games that are great parodies. You might argue that Braid, in some small part, was trying to parody Super Mario Brothers, but it has so much more to it than that. That you wouldn't make that out as a major element to the game. I think in the video game universe we see much more homages. It's like, I love that game, I wanted my game to be like that game stuff, not that game was awful, therefore I would like to make fun of it. Okay, what was I supposed to do now? Well, this statue is the statue to leave the area. And so we need to go back over here and double check. Willie's voice can shatter glass. Where's some glass to shatter? Must be somewhere around here. If they're giving me that hint. Yes. And we have a fainting count. Or some kind of couch. Here we have something to build. This is weird, I can't actually get up this high either. And see, I was thinking maybe there's something hidden somewhere. I don't actually have Willie, so I can blow that up. Let's try Indiana Jones, and then I guess we'll just have to move forward. This might just be another one of these levels where I just don't find that final piece. They're getting pretty cryptic here. Like, I feel like I've been all over this level. Even that right there is not accurate to the movie. He pushed the statue inward. He didn't pull it outward. Simple things that, I mean, you would just need to have had the people making the game watch the movie, check it for reference. I mean, does it really matter that the statue was pulled inward instead of outward? No, but also it just speaks of a lack of care. Like, if I was tasked to recreate something that is beloved by many people, like Indiana Jones, I would take care to try to do every action, every movement within my ability to look just like the game and have very recognizable and memorable moments. And doing things slightly different or putting my spin on it is something you see in Hollywood. Anytime they try to remake a movie that is a beloved movie, it's like, oh, now there's 100 different producers, writers, and other people, just production assistants and actors, all putting their little ideas into the game or the movie, changing it so much by the end of the time that that there's no longer any resemblance at all to the original. I'm looking all the way over here. Didn't find any secret characters either. And certainly, for a video game, you're going to have to add scenes. But add sections and do all of that. That's... I'm not saying it needs to be a shot-for-shot remake of the movie with nothing added. But there's a difference between adding and changing what existed already. There's plenty of gaps in a 2-hour movie, usually at least, where you can add entire sections and scenes and fill it out. There's probably plenty of stuff that was originally in the script of a movie that you can similarly fill out the... Let's see. Let's just try this. This is ridiculous. I may have to go to a 2-controller setup here because the AI is not getting it. Like, I'm here. You're supposed to go get the other one. And look how fast it switches between the two, the different characters. That's the real power of my processor right there, when it's not limited by whatever limits they have here going on. Where are you? Grab on. Am I seriously gonna have to hit F2? Let's see. I guess we'll try F2. So now I'm playing with my mouse. Which button does which? I'll need to find the A jump button, which isn't that one. It's all on my number pad. I don't know why they decided that was the right thing to do. And that cycles, and that. Alright, so number pad 5 and that. Great. So I'm gonna take this and go through here, and now see, the camera split just doesn't even happen in this version, so my other character is now stuck. So I have to come over here, do this, and find which number pad button means drop out. It's the enter key. Okay. Now that worked perfectly fine in the... Is this guy attacking me? I thought for a second there he was. That worked perfectly fine in the main game. It just didn't work here. So... Here, you wanna pass the spiders with me? There you go. Stand on the switch and move forward. It's been kind of a long level. Remember, we started outside the palace. And there's number 10. Did we get the parcel? Yes, we did. So we're ready to finish. Alright. And we have over 100,000 studs right now. Quick, break these guys. Put this down. I don't think you'd actually die here, ever. I think it would take forever, and then it would just probably reset you. So now we got Poo Treasure, a pretty useless expansion, honestly. So we finished the elephant, and then the elephant gives us another, was it 30, 40, 60,000 studs? So going forward, we will have treasure times 2, as they call it, and that will be very useful to get score times 4, treasure times 4. And so we don't really need to buy anything more. We may very well get treasure times 2, treasure times 4, treasure times 6, treasure times 8, and treasure times 10 before we can ever even afford the artifact detector. Treasure times 2 is now unlocked. I wish I could get fast dig, because that would be nice, and fast build, that would be nice, and I could afford it certainly, but almost 100,000 studs is a lot to spend. I also need to remember every time I start, these things get turned off, so every time I take a break and exit the program, it stops. Now, last time we ran around, we had, we got about maybe 20,000 studs. If I double that, that gets me to about 40,000 studs. That's still not anywhere enough to make logical sense to run around breaking the few things we have. So, like, we still need to work on it. We're over 100,000 before we start the next level. That's nice to see, but like over here in particular, this is probably the biggest amount that ever gets dropped in this area. Is if I take this when I was at about 100,000. When this drops with score times 2, it gets me up to less than 10,000. So you're only getting like 5,000 without the score doublers and 10,000 with the score doubler. Still a lot to do. Still a lot to do for the Temple of Doom. We have 20 more gold chests and 3 more True Adventurers. I imagine the True Adventurers won't be an issue anymore at all with score being doubled. So that's not going to be an issue. And now we are at 64.1%. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.